Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Monday, March 9th, my birthday. Good morning, guys. I hope everybody's having a phenomenal start to their day. Obviously, we're in a different environment right now. If it does lag throughout this episode, if it does stutter throughout this episode, just know I'm at my parents' house right now, so the quality is not that great. I am on my laptop, and tomorrow's quality will be much better. Much better. I'm going to use both of my laptops. I have one at my parents' house that I left, and then the one that I brought. MacBooks suck, so my apologies to everybody that's tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is not going to be fun for me, but it will be fun for everybody else who was hate watching me over the weekend. We are going over our winners and losers of the NBA weekend, starting with Friday, moving on to today. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, as always. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok viewers, be sure to drop some likes. Enjoy the show. Appreciate y'all very, very much. And Twitch chat, all y'all got to do, man, it's quite simple. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, energy drink, whatever, and enjoy the show. Guys, like I said, I'm at my parents' house. I don't have any of my normal setup, so you're just gonna have to follow along. I don't have any of the text to go like the lower thirds or the bottom of these screens. I'm gonna have to just roll and do this off the dome, okay? So I appreciate all you guys here experiencing the most scuffed stream we've ever put out, all right? Guys, we're gonna go ahead and start with the losers of the NBA weekend. I gotta discuss a lot. All right, we're gonna start with the losers today, and the first loser that we have up is the Detroit Pistons. Now, I'm in Detroit right now, and I said it's so funny that, you know, I move out of Detroit and all the teams start suddenly doing better, like the Lions, like the Pistons, like everything else. Guys, I gotta get it off my chest. All right, like everybody that watches me, everybody that listens to me, y'all know. I'm the most realistic Pistons fan that has surfaced the internet. You know, I grew up watching Rodney Stuckey, Will Bynum, Greg Monroe, Andre Drummond, Henry Ellenson, Luigi Dittomi, Josh Harrelson, everybody. I watched the worst kinds of players for my team, you know, and I rooted for them no matter what. And I want to talk about the slide that the Pistons are having right now. Why have the Pistons lost 4 games in a row? Why? Why has this happened? It's very simple, and I'm not going to just say they were missing Cade and Asar in one of the games. No, I'm not going to say that. Over the weekend, the Detroit Pistons lost to the Brooklyn Nets and the Miami Heat. Okay, those are both games that the Pistons should win. If you want to lose to the Cavs, that's okay. If you want to lose to the Spurs, that's fine. But when you lose to the Nets and Miami Heat, I just have to point out something very, very obvious and glaring that honestly nobody else has really talked about, so I will. I've been talking about it since the All-Star break. The Pistons have not looked good. They've not looked good whatsoever. They're not putting effort on defense. They're not putting any care or effort into building a consistent flowing offense. Their biggest issue right now is not the fact that they're missing Asar Thompson. In case you guys don't know, he sprained his ankle against the San Antonio Spurs 2 minutes into the game, and the Pistons never fought back. That was it. That was it. So when you look at this team, and you ask me, Jay-Z, what is your honest opinion on the Detroit Pistons? I'm going to tell you what I've been telling y'all since game 1 of this NBA season. The Pistons walked into this year with one goal: win a playoff series. That's it. That was it. Win a playoff series. They didn't make any really big moves. They made marginal moves, if that. Our summer got scuffed because they lost Dennis Schroeder, they lost Malik Beasley due to the gambling investigations, and they lost Tim Hardaway Jr. Cade Cunningham is in his 5th year and still does not have a second option. We don't have a second option. When Cade gets trapped, when you shut down Cade, you shut down the Detroit Pistons. Jalen Duren is not a second option. I've been preaching that to TikTok over here. I've been preaching that to you guys. I've been preaching that to everybody. A second option is a guy that you can give the ball to and let him work and create his own shot for himself or others. Jalen Duren is not that. Jalen Duren gets spoon-fed on offense by Cade Cunningham 98% of the time. He will pull out a nice little driving hook. He'll pull those moves out once in a while. And he's been prolific offensively. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Jalen Duren, if you ever hear me, if you ever hear this show, if you ever hear me talk about you in general as a basketball player, I am giving you your flowers on your offensive development. Defensively, however, you showed me this season that you are capable of trying on defense. More than I'm bigger than you, so I'm going to stop you. I'm talking actual defense. You're getting in the lanes. You're stopping players from continuously driving to the hoop. You were showing me what you are capable of. Ever since the All-Star break, even though the Pistons were without Stu, I understand that. We were missing Duren in the first game after the All-Star break in Madison Square Garden. Cade Cunningham dropped 42 and 13 or 11 on their domes. So what is the biggest issue right now with Jalen Duren? He has not played defense since he returned from suspension. And guess what? He came out and said that yesterday after losing, getting embarrassed to the Miami Heat. This is why Jalen Duren did not get that max extension. This is why. This is why he didn't get a $30 million extension. And everybody was telling me last season, the Pistons messed up. How do you not re-sign at that point, a 21-year-old, 265 pounds, 6'11 big man? How do you not extend that? Well, and I've been telling everybody the same quote every day. He did not play defense for the first 38 games of the NBA season last year. 38. That's not a sample size. That's half of the year. It was not until middle of January where Jalen Duren started playing defense. That's when Jalen Duren started just playing effort on defense. I'm not saying he's going out swatting shots like Big Ben. I'm saying he was actually going out and giving us effort. Well, Jalen Duren came out after the loss last night and said, yeah, we're not playing defense. And part of it is me. So, I have to reiterate myself. Why? Why are the Pistons the #1 seed in the East? Why? Why has Jalen Duren's defense not looked that bad all season long? Why has it just regressed now after the All-Star break? It's quite simple. Ausar Thompson. Missing Ausar Thompson creates chaos on defense. He makes up for Duren's mistakes. He stops players from getting to the rack. And if they do get to the rack, Ausar Thompson blocks their shots. You guys see it. You guys see it. It's not Duren getting those block shots. It's Ausar Thompson. So when you watch Jalen Duren without Ausar Thompson, it's virtually unwatchable for an actual Detroit Pistons fan. Jalen Duren looks lost. He looks absolutely lost. He's not putting any effort whatsoever on defense. I've said it time and time again. He cannot guard a center that is capable of stretching the floor, and that's his biggest issue. He's not quick laterally. So if somebody's on the perimeter, he can't close out enough. I saw Bam Adebayo have, 15 open threes all season? If anything, right now, if I were JB Bickerstaff, if I needed any more validation to who your second most important player on your team is, if I still needed validation, I don't know what kind of head coach this guy would be. I mean, this is the same guy that continuously plays Karis LeVert over Ausar Thompson. So when I say this, I don't understand what more we can talk about. He's playing Karis LeVert more minutes, sometimes the same minutes as Ausar Thompson. It's sort of scary to think if Ausar Thompson, why JB Bickerstaff has such a short leash on him, but everybody else, they're allowed to not play defense for 48 minutes. But Ausar Thompson, when he makes one mistake, he gets cursed out, screamed at, and benched for the rest of the game. It's sort of disgusting. It's malpractice, actually. If Ausar Thompson had the leash that everybody else on the Pistons had, we would be talking about Ausar Thompson in every category of every award this year. He's not allowed to make a mistake. Otherwise, he gets yanked and benched and cursed at for the rest of the game. So, hopefully now, JB recognizes what's going on. I don't want to hear the Pistons have no shooters. I don't want to hear that. They had a shooting streak. They had a cold spill, and that's what happens. The Pistons made one less three than the Miami Heat last night. The Pistons lost by 11 in Miami last night. They landed in Miami at 4 a.m., but I can't even use that as an excuse. They were on the second night of a back-to-back. They choked a 23-point lead against the Brooklyn Nets, and then they were down. It was a blowout. I don't care that we lost by 11. It was a blowout. Another thing that I have to say is, JB Bickerstaff, you are showing me, and you have shown me last year, that you are not capable of raising the ceiling of this team. You've raised the floor, that's for sure. But when you yank Asar Thompson out every time the Pistons are leading in the 6-game series against the New York Knicks in the playoffs last year, and you did the same thing throughout this season that has cost the Pistons multiple losses, it really brings to fruition of why I doubted you in the first place as a head coach. He can raise the floor of a team, but I don't think he can raise the ceiling. And here we are. The Pistons have lost 4 in a row. They haven't lost 2 in a row since December. They've never lost 3 in a row this season, and they never lost 4 in a row this season, yet here we are at this time. Now, people will probably ask me, is the sky falling? And I'm here to tell you that, no, the sky isn't falling, but they need to rein in. Missing Asar Thompson should not be causing this much of a lack of effort that I'm seeing on the court. I'm watching this team, and they do not look like the team from pre-All-Star break. None of them are trying defensively. They were the number 1 defense since December 15th. And since the All-Star break, they're 29th. You're telling me the only team you're better than defensively is the Utah Jazz since the All-Star break? The wins that you got against Oklahoma, against Cleveland, against the New York Knicks, the only one out of these games after the All-Star break that was actually a well-played game was the Knicks game. All of those other wins that you guys somehow secured, they should have been blowouts. They were all missing players. So the sky isn't falling, but I am here to tell everybody something needs to change. I don't know if he lost the lock. I don't know what's going on. Nobody wants to play defense. You're not playing defense. Your offense isn't good enough to outshoot teams. We all know that. This isn't the same team. This is not the same team from 3 weeks ago. It's not. If you guys have watched, then you would know. It goes way beyond a team of having no second option, no third option, no fourth option. If you want to say the Pistons have a second option, it's Tobias Harris in 2026. Yeah, they need to reel it in defensively. That's how this team is great. That's it. So for everybody telling me, the sky's falling, they probably will lose the first seed, and that's okay. The Ivy trade still, it hurts me because Ivy wasn't Ivy. Ivy came out and said that Jaden Ivey is dead. But still, my point being of this was the second deepest team for the entire NBA season. And then after the All-Star break, all of a sudden, we can't play anybody off of our bench. Duncan Robinson putting up stinker after stinker after stinker, shooting his worst percentage from 3 of his career right now, of his last 25 games, which is not good. But he has no other help. He has no other help on shooting. So this is the unfortunate repercussions. Yeah, it's truly depressing. But something I will emphasize is I hope we all understand that Asar Thompson is way more important than everybody is leading. I've been telling this to everybody. Asar Thompson is the key of this team. He is the second most important player on this Detroit Pistons team. It's not Jalen Duren. It's Asar Thompson. I know that. Real Pistons fans know that. This is the reality, man. This is the reality. My laptop is dying right now. I don't know if this episode's going to be able to even continue. Listen, I can talk forever about this. I can talk for hours on this team, but I gotta move on. Just know, if your GM comes out and says this season is not about winning the championship, it's about winning a playoff series. If your GM said that, Pistons fans, I've been telling you guys day after day after day this season. Day after day. It's not championship or bust this year. It's not. Win a playoff series. That's our GM's goal. It sucks because we could have done more this year had they done more at the trade deadline. But this is what it is. This is what it is. Our GM said, how do you feel about championship aspirations at the trade deadline? This is a month ago. He came out and said, we've seen teams take swings and misses. We don't want to do that. And for people telling me that we should have got Michael Porter Jr., again, I hate to say, but I somewhat agree with Trajan Landon. I somewhat agree with him. Because I wouldn't want to trade for a Michael Porter Jr. and then not be able to re-sign Asar Thompson. There's no way. So the pressure this year was to improve upon last. The Pistons have done that. The issue is they have improved so much that the outside noise is placing expectations on them. The goal was the same. The goal was the same this year. It was to win a playoff series. Win a game at home in the playoffs, which they haven't done in 18 years. The GM is acknowledging that. It's time for Pistons fans to acknowledge that as well, like I have. I don't want the Pistons to be the first seed. I didn't want that. I wanted them to be a smooth top 3 so that your pressure is just winning a playoff series, not going to the conference finals. This Pistons is not winning a conference finals. They're not. And unfortunately, I do have to say, Jalen Duren is going to walk into a max contract that he does not deserve. Because defensively, I said it last night in my Discord, this is arguably the worst starting defender as a center in the NBA. Arguably. I think he's bottom 5 out of all 30 starting centers in this league. Jalen Duren is bottom 5 defensively. I do have to applaud him for his offensive ability that has improved this year. I'd like to credit him where credit is due. But defensively, Jalen Duren cannot guard any center that can shoot. Not one. Not one. There's a reason why Vucci Baby drops 30 and 10 on his head. He's not even boxing out Tyler Hero, man. He's not even boxing out Tyler Hero. He's not. He's not. And anybody telling me I'm tripping, you do not watch Pistons basketball. You don't. Let's look at the top. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Let's see. It's Cat, Şengün. I'm thinking of worst defending centers. DeAndre Ayton. I mean, DeAndre Jordan technically because he's a starting center. Jakob Poeltl. And then Duren. What? Am I wrong here? Nick Claxton, okay. So my point being is that the fact that we have to have this conversation, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. He's getting out-rebounded by Tyler Hero. Bam Adebayo is taking 15 threes. Pistons are my number 1 loser of the NBA weekend. Let's move on to my next NBA weekend loser. The Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets are my second loser of the weekend. The Charlotte Hornets, everything that went wrong, went wrong. Not only did they lose 2 games over the weekend, but every team ahead of them has also won. The Miami Heat, they won. They're on a 5-game winning streak. Shout out the Heat. We'll be talking about them later. The Atlanta Hawks, I believe they're on a 4-game winning streak as well. And then on top of that, you also have the Orlando Magic winning 4 straight. So the Charlotte Hornets are my second loser of the weekend. Now, buzz, I apologize, my Hornets fans. But what we got to talk about, and it's something that I've been talking about all year long, is Brandon Miller is hella inconsistent, man. He's hella inconsistent. I've been talking about it all year, but Hornets fans have wanted to just tell me to shut up. They've just been telling me to shut up all year. I talk about B. Mill, and the Hornets fans tell me, no, he's still young. And it's like, I understand he's young, but I'm just pointing out a flaw of his. As a young player, he's incredibly inconsistent. B. Mill's inconsistent. LaMelo Ball, if he's not getting everybody involved, he's not providing any sort of spark offensively. We already know he's not providing anything defensively. But this is just what is happening to the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets are looking not good right now. I mean, they're on their West Coast trip as well. They lost to the Phoenix Suns last night. And then I believe they lost to sorry, my laptop is dying right now. They lost to the Miami Heat, which is okay. Miami's killing it right now, but that was a big game as far as standings go. Yeah, man, the way I'm thinking about the Charlotte Hornets team, it's like I've been talking about this all year long, even during their win streak as well. It's sort of weird when you look at this team. My laptop is like dying right now, like actually dying. When you look at this team, the Charlotte Hornets, and I'm told that they're going to upset the Pistons in a first round matchup, I sort of giggle. Like I just laugh because it's like the Hornets have no experience whatsoever. They have no experience whatsoever, and all they do is spam threes. And now they've been hitting these threes as of late. But this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. They're not going to upset any team in the first round. Will they make a first round series fun? Absolutely. This weekend, the Charlotte Hornets honestly just lacked identity. And I think that's like the most important thing as far as a basketball team goes, a young basketball team goes. And I know I ranted for like 17 or 18 minutes about the Pistons, but the Pistons are young. People are forgetting that the Pistons are the 5th youngest team in the NBA right now. They also have the like 4th lowest salary among all those teams. So when you look at all these teams, like the Hornets, the young team, like the Pistons, a young team, like the Nets, a young team. When you look at all of these teams, you sort of have to think culture. What is the culture of this team? The Pistons are going out and they're getting dirty. Not since All-Star break. They suck. The Hornets, their culture is just spamming threes. You know, that's their culture, is moving the ball around, spreading that floor as much as possible, and just spamming threes. That's what it is. And this weekend it didn't work. Because here's the thing: their offense got out-offensed by the Miami Heat, and their defense got out-defensed against the Phoenix Suns. And the Phoenix Suns are missing Grayson Allen and Dillon Brooks. And yet they still dropped. Those two are their main culprits defensively, and they still lost to the Phoenix Suns. So I beg to ask the question that Hornets fans don't want to admit, but if your shooting is not falling, how do you win games? The short answer is you don't. The short answer is that you simply do not win those games. If your shooting is off, if the ball is sticking with one player too long, you just don't win those basketball games. And that's how it's been going. That's how it will continue to go. This is how it will go into the playoffs. Now, the Hornets will make it out of the play-in. I'm willing to bet that. The Hornets can still climb up and get the 6th seed as long as these teams ahead of them climb out. But when you view this team, the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets, they're a fun story, one of the most fun stories in the NBA. But their tactic to win games is not a culture. Their tactic to win these games is something that they sort of fell on. They sort of lucked into shooting this well because all it is ball movement. The ball moves faster than any player on the basketball court. So when that happens, the ball's moving, the ball's fizzing around, and you get open shots over and over and over again. So that's why I have the Charlotte Hornets as my loser of the weekend. They went 0-2 over the weekend, and that typically guarantees you as a loser of a weekend. Now, I would like to go out and say to everybody who's watching or listening, I don't have another loser of the weekend. No other teams lost 2 games over the weekend. It was just the Hornets and Pistons. So instead, I'm just going to give a quick honorable mention for a loser of the weekend. I'll give it to the Knicks. Based off of their one game over the weekend, they didn't play well. Against the Los Angeles Lakers, they did not play well. Listen, my computer is like sort of having a stroke, so I'm trying to not look at stats right now. Tomorrow we'll have a much better setup, okay? I assure you guys, I'll have the stats, I'll have everything handy. My apologies. I will have everything situated tomorrow, so, I am sorry. It was between the Knicks or the Rockets. The Rockets showed us last night that this is who they are. So I could easily pick them as the loser of the weekend. I could. But it's against Wemby, and I think at this point, Şengün, whoever gets the Rockets in the first round, enjoy. You know what I mean? I think I'm going to go ahead and pick the Knicks. The way that they dominated Denver, and then you go out and lay an egg in LA. I don't like that. Now, of course, like Knicks fans, it's fine. It's just a regular season game. I'm just saying, as far as like a game in LA, a game that you think that you would show up for, they didn't show up. In fact, I had a stat for Jalen Brunson. Over his last 3 games, he's averaging 16 points. He's shooting 35% from the field. You're not going to win basketball games. If Jalen Brunson is that bad, you're not going to win basketball games. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if the team is sort of lacking that oomph. Mikal Bridges going for a goose egg isn't going to help your chances either. They did not play well last night. I think this summer you're going to see the New York Knicks make a decision. You're going to see them make a decision. Over Jalen Brunson's last 3 games, he's shooting 35%. Over his last 5 games from the field, he's shooting 36%. Over his last 10 games, he's shooting 39% from the field. This is not a small sample size. What we are watching, ladies and gentlemen, is the starting onset of small point guard regression. Now, I don't want to manifest this. I don't want to manifest this. But what kills small point guards in today's modern NBA is the physicality of it all. How many times am I going to watch Jalen Brunson run into the locker room because of his ankle and come back out and try to push through it? You got to stop. You got to stop. Knicks fans, we got to talk about this, man. You guys are in the same heaping pile of poop that the Pistons are in. You can't sit out your best player. Why can't you? The Knicks have a championship roster. You guys built this to be a championship roster. If Cade Cunningham has this roster, it begs the question, would all of these players have confidence? You have a number 2 in Cat. You have a number 3 in OG. You have a number 4 in McCall. You have a number 5 in Josh Hart. Man, Jose Alvarado. Oh, my God. Mo Diawara. You have Landry Shamet. Whoo! Shooters. It's getting worrisome, Knicks fans. It's getting worrisome. Brunson needs a rest. I'm being honest. I'm a Knicks, listen, if I was not a Pistons fan, I'd be a Knicks fan. I want everybody to understand that. If I was not a Pistons fan, I would be a Knicks fan. That's my team. And to see Brunson getting beat up the way he is this year and not being able to rest, as a small point guard, that's worrisome. That's very worrisome. He needs it. Jalen Brunson needs it. Just like Cade Cunningham does. Just like Kevin Durant does. Just like all of these guys, man. 5, I hate to say it. Knicks fans, close your ears. 5 first-round picks. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. 5 first-round picks. For a guy that doesn't take contact and his only shot is a fadeaway from midi. Championship roster. Jalen Brunson needs to rest. Jalen Brunson needs to rest. There's no reason this team cannot rest Jalen Brunson. So that's my honorable mention for my 3rd and final loser of the weekend. I would like to say, TikTok chat, if you guys are enjoying the stream, you guys would enjoy it much, much more in the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The Twitch stream is, I'm at my parents' house, so I can't even say that the quality is much better. But my community is hanging out in the Twitch. So TikTok, if you guys would like to enjoy the stream at the max capability, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio, ladies and gents. It's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I'd love to see you guys come through. I'm a Pistons fan. Guys, let's move on into the winners. And I would like to apologize to everybody. I cannot open any tabs on my laptop right now. So tomorrow I will be coming to stream tomorrow way more prepared. Okay? I don't have any of the stats in front of me, so I'm literally just raw dogging this information. I haven't had stats in front of me. It's like every time I alt tab, my laptop is just stroking out. Okay? Let's start with the winners of the weekend. My number 1 winner of the weekend is none other than the Miami Heat. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've said this. Now, if you guys remember, for the first 3 months of the NBA, 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, one or the other, one weekend, Miami Heat was the winner. One weekend, the Miami Heat was the loser. It was like that all season. Now, I'm not going to talk crazy here. I'm not going to just talk crazy, okay? I'm not going to just start saying some outlandish things that the Miami Heat are so back, even though I know Heat fans want me to do that. I want to look at the competition, and I want to look at the stats and averages between this team. Because when you look at their last 5 games, I called that Rockets win, and I'm happy I did because that sort of sparked this entire win streak. They beat the Rockets, they beat the Nets, They beat the Nets again. They beat the hot Hornets. And they beat the Pistons. I want to talk about this win streak. In this win streak, they're averaging 124 points per game. They're averaging 46 rebounds, which would put them at 4th in the NBA at rebounding. Most important statistic of this 5-game win streak, and something that makes me love Miami Heat basketball, is when it works, boy, is it pretty. When it doesn't work, boy, is it ugly. They're averaging over 28 assists over this 5-game winning streak. 28 assists. That would be number 2 in the entire NBA right now. On top of that, they're shooting as a team 49%. How do you intend on beating this team if you're allowing them to shoot 49%? On top of all of that, their 3-point percentage is 38%. They are shooting 50% from the field and 39% from deep. You're probably wondering, how do you beat that team? Pray. Pray. You're not beating that team. I don't care who it is. If they're averaging 50% from the field and 39% from deep and 28 assists per game, pray. You're not beating them. So I would like to discredit the Pistons a lot. I'd like to discredit the Nets a lot. I'd like to discredit the Nets twice. I'd like to discredit the Charlotte Hornets. I'd like to discredit the Houston Rockets. And I'd like to insult those teams for losing to the Miami Heat. But at this rate, you're not beating that. I don't care what team you are. You are not beating a team that's shooting 50-40. 50-40. You're not. So what's working? What's working? Well, Tyler Hero's hooping. And I think what we're witnessing right now, and Heat fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like Tyler Hero has officially bought in. He's bought in. Tyler Hero's moving that rock. Tyler Hero is not letting the ball stick with him for too long. Tyler Hero, while not a good defender, he's trying defensively. And that is a major difference than last year's Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero normally, he gives up on if he gets beat, he gives up. I was watching him last night. When Cade would get the switch on him, Cade's scoring. We're not, Cade is going to score. But my God, if I'd be lying if I said Tyler Hero wasn't trying. So, Heat fans, you guys are probably wondering something. Is this sustainable? Well, it's the Miami Heat, so probably not. But can it be sustainable? I think absolutely yes. You have 2 All-Stars, not this year obviously, but Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. You have Norman Powell, who they didn't even have last night. You have Khalil Ware, who has shown you so many stretches that he's either going to be utilized as a big trade package or part of the core future. My only issue here, and this might sound like a casual take, so Heat fans, tell me if I'm wrong. Look, you already took the words out of my mouth. I don't know if I've bought into the Tyler Hero Powell lineups. I think that's been one of my biggest issues this season is I don't think they can play together. So if I were coach, I would love to bring Norman Powell off the bench and say, Norm, go for 30 off the bench. Go in your Peyton Pritchard role. Go in your prime Jordan Clarkson role. Go in your Jamal Crawford, Lou Will role. We need buckets. Get us buckets off the bench. And I think that would be excellent. I think that would be great. I think you close with Hero, and if Norm's having a good game, you close with Norm. I think my biggest issue with Norm is I don't think he's a good defender. Norman Powell is, I think, the second best shot creator on this team. And Tyler Hero's a much better facilitator. I think he can move the floor much better than anybody else on this court. And that's something I didn't expect from Tyler Hero when he came into this NBA. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect Tyler Hero to become a facilitator because he was a ball ends here kind of guy. He was a ball ends here kind of guy. And like that label that you get put on you normally doesn't go away. You can look at Michael Porter Jr. You can look at Cam Thomas. You can look at so many players around this NBA. And that ball ends here kind of label doesn't go away. But with Tyler Hero, I don't even remember how he used to be a ball ends here kind of guy. I remember him more for what he's doing now. And it's sort of interesting, man, because if he can continue to do this and elevate his game, because he's got Bam there, he's got Khalil there, he's got Norm there. Jaime Jaquez, who I'm his biggest fan. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It truly is. I think the Miami Heat are back. I don't want to jinx them. I hope a week from today, the Miami Heat, even if they're not a winner of the weekend again, I hope they're not a loser of the week, because it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've called them a loser. I haven't cared to call them a loser. They haven't done anything relevant enough to be labeled a loser. They have been losers, though. But right now, they're looking good. Right now, they're looking good. And I think once you insert Wiggins, he's an easy plug and plop, sort of like Tobias Harris, except good at basketball. That was rude. I think I'm just upset with the Pistons not playing any defense whatsoever. I think last night as well, I want to boast the Miami Heat to an extreme. Obviously, it was against my team, so like I am a pretty big guy for admitting. I mean, I am. I always have been this way. I always give credit where credit is due. The Pistons just were not. I mean, Heat fans, you guys have played against us before. You guys understand what Detroit basketball defense has been this year. This is not that. This is not that. They have not played Detroit defense since before the All-Star break. They haven't tried. And losing Asar Thompson, obviously, I'm showing you he's our core. He's the key to this team's success. Cade is the number one, but Asar Thompson is the number two. And without Asar Thompson, man, this team, it's horrendous basketball. But even before losing Asar Thompson, nobody was giving effort. So if you watched last night, they're getting open layups. Tyler Hero's just driving to the rim. Jaime Jaquez, of course, he drives to the rim, but he's just being allowed to drive to the rim. Tobias Harris is just letting them move right past him. Jalen Duren's letting them move past them. So it's like, you know, it was bad defense, sure, but it was good. It was good offense too. If Duren can't guard the three, bam, let that thing fly. If Tobias can't guard the drive, then Jaime, feel free. The hoop is yours. I am happy with the Miami Heat success, and I truly hope for nothing but more success and prosperity. I want to see fun things out of Miami. I want to see them make the playoffs. I want to see them not be in the play-in this year. You know, I know third seed was never a realistic possibility for this team, but why not sixth? Why not? All the teams around them are streaking, so just keep it up. Let's talk about another one of those teams that are streaking. In fact, we're going to go a little bit north of Miami, but we're going to stay in the state of Florida. The Orlando Magic. Now, again, I don't have any of the stats pulled up ahead of me. I believe the Orlando Magic are on a 4-game winning streak. On top of all of that, the Orlando Magic right now, they are playing at a level that this is sort of the level that everyone expected them to play at with starting the season. Now, what I'm seeing from Paolo Banchero after now they've clinched, or they haven't clinched, but they've achieved the 6th seed. What I'm seeing out of Paolo Banchero right now has sort of been, it feels like a fever dream. Now, it all started with Paolo playing absolutely horrible against the Pistons in a loss. And then Washington, he played well. Dallas, he played well. Minnesota played well. No, that's the one game that Paolo did not play that great. And then Milwaukee, did he? I don't want to say that if I'm wrong. My apologies. Hold on. My laptop is about to stroke out. So let me just check real quick. Oh no, Paolo had a good game. What am I talking about? Sorry, Magic fans. He had 25 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, plus 15, 5 turnovers. But that's okay. He has the ball in his hands. 1 for 5 from 3, but 10 for 18 from deep from the field. And then obviously a spectacular game last night against the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis. But even with Giannis, I don't think much would have changed. Paolo finished the night with 33 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, plus 27 on the court, only 1 turnover, and he shot 3 for 6 from 3 and 12 for 16 from the field. And something I really want to point out from Paolo Banchero is his last 10 games. Obviously, his last 10 games, they didn't come in wins. But I just want to show you guys how elite Paolo has been after the All-Star break. Since he's been averaging, in his last 10 games, 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists over his last 10 games. On top of that, his percentages have just been jumping off. It's been jumping off the screen. Now my laptop is dying. But he's shooting 60% from the field. I got to repeat this. For his last 10 games, he's shooting 60% from the field and 30% from 3. That right there Those shooting splits, guys, those shooting splits right there is why people believed in Paolo Banchero to begin with. But right now, you're looking at this team, and I'm telling you right now, we all see how Paolo can be. You don't need to be settling for these threes over and over. Listen to the splits. Listen to the splits. 60% from the field and 30% from three. If it's a 30% differential, I'd like to gas up that 60% from the field way more than I'd like to discredit him for the 30% from the three. Because if you're playing this way, you're 6'11", 260, okay? You should be shooting 60% from the field. You should. And 30% from three, if you're going to keep shooting them, he shot 50% last night. So obviously that's, it could improve down the line. But something that's so important right now is looking at this player and seeing what he's capable of and seeing the shots that he's missing and the shots that he's hitting. And the shots that he's hitting is near the rim. He's got to keep that up and stop firing it away. Stop firing it away. Keep doing what you're doing and just try to improve upon that. Because Paolo's been playing incredibly well and the Magic have been playing incredibly well. Even without Franz, it's all dependent purely off of Paolo being Paolo and playing the way that we know he's capable of. That's all. You're 6'11", 260, so I feel as though you should be locked in. You should be able to get to that rim. You should be able to score at will in the post. And when he doesn't do that, it's incredibly frustrating, but he is doing that right now. So shout out the Orlando Magic, man. They're another winner of the weekend I have. Obviously, I could have said other teams for losers as well, like the Philadelphia 76ers losing Maxey, but I think he's only going to be out for a couple games. They fell out of the playoffs as well for the first time this season since they've got it. Yeah, man, I think you're starting to see some teams wake up. I can't open any other tabs right now. My laptop's going to die. So as much as I want to do a third winner, I can't. My laptop, yeah, this isn't going to work. This ain't going to work, okay? Stud of the night is probably Paolo Banchero. He had 33. He shot super efficient, and I can't pull up the stats because my laptop's going to die. Guys, I appreciate y'all very, very much for tuning in. Today's going to be a little bit shorter of an episode, so my apologies. But I'm going to try to be live for the rest of this week. I think this is pretty difficult. Without a good laptop, I think this is going to be incredibly difficult to keep up for this week. I feel like this show wasn't up to my standards, and that's okay. But I'm gonna keep y'all posted as far as in the Discord goes on whether or not we are going to be continuing these episodes throughout this week. I'm going to try, and hopefully we can manage. But if I can't get any better quality than this, we're just gonna chalk it up and say we'll be back next week. I don't like saying that, but if my quality can't improve, then I don't know, man. We'll try. I'll review this podcast. I will look at what I can do better, if anything. I don't want to buy another laptop while I'm here. So we'll see. We'll try to figure out what we can do here. All right. In the meantime, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Truly, truly, truly means a lot. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Yeah, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating review. And yeah, I appreciate y'all very, very much. Have a blessed day, everybody. I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow. If not, I'll catch you guys in the Discord.